better together.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio. This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio 99.1 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Transparency Institute Guyana Inc. or TIGI is just one of the many agencies that has over the years registered concerns about unsettling matters that remain unaddressed as regards the effective management of the local oil and gas sector. Now, the transparency body is, however, looking to take their advocacy a bit further as it intends to press the Caribbean community on their silence regarding oil and gas matters in Guyana that have the potential to adversely affect the region. TIGI noted that while local authorities here seem to be shunning persons and organizations who criticize their handling of the oil and gas sector, it is also notable that CARICOM seems not to be focusing on the potential dangers that it too faces where certain decisions are made in the local industry. The transparency body was at the time referencing the contractual agreements made between Guyana, ExxonMobil, and its subsidiary agencies for the pumping of the country's offshore oil reserves. Civil society bodies like TIGI and other concerned parties have highlighted a number of gray areas that include environmental concerns, tax payment concerns, local content concerns, and the sharing of oil profits, among other matters. And moving on, as the war between Russia and Ukraine continue into its third week, countries around the world have been grappling with dire economic impacts. In Guyana, however, the situation may be bittersweet. This is so given the country stands to benefit from the increase in oil prices at a macro level. Budget 2022 had predicted, for example, that the Natural Resource Fund would collect close to $1 billion US dollars this year. The PPPC government had estimated in February that oil prices would hover around $70.4 US dollars per barrel. However, on account of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, oil prices have soared to $139 US dollars a barrel. Up to press time, Brent oil price stood at $109.3 US dollars following a week of fluctuating prices. In other news, among other questions to be asked regarding the leasing of the multi-million US dollar Enmore packaging plant, the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union will seek to ascertain the cost at which the facility will be leased when it meets with Gaisuco next week. Like the rest of the country, GAU had only learned of leasing discussions after the government announced the same at the Marriott, that should be at the Energy Conference and Expo held at the Marriott Hotel last month. Arrangements regarding the leased packaging plant to a 52% Guyanese-owned joint venture called Gyson's K&B Industries Inc. to be repurposed to serve some of the oil industry's manufacturing needs is one for public focus since arrangements surrounding the construction of the facility prior to 2011 was a source of contention. Back then, the building cost had moved from $2 million US dollars to a whopping $12 million US dollars, more than $2 billion Ghana dollars when Surendra Engineering out of India was contracted for the job. And coming from DPI, Guyana and the European Union on Thursday agreed on a detailed roadmap for implementing the Guyana-EU Forest Law Enforcement, Governance and Trade Voluntary Partnership Agreement, which aims to improve forest governance and verify the trade in legal timber. The aid memoir was signed by Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat and EU Ambassador to Guyana Fernando Pons Canto at the Pegasus Hotel after a meeting with the various stakeholders. He made it clear that the agreement in no way means that the country is cutting down on forest activities, but ensuring that it is done in a sustainable legal manner. He noted as well that Guyana has one of the best forest management systems in the world. And moving on, the Guyana Police Force came under the scrutiny of the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee on Monday for its use of overpayments to staffers as outlined in 2017 and 2018 Auditor General's report. In representing the Ghana Police Force before the PSC, Senior Superintendent of Police Calvin Brutus told the committee that some of the staffers cannot be located, as this was due to slothful communication. According to the officer, the GPF records reflected that from 7 officers being overpaid in 2017, 88 were overpaid in 2018. Brutus said the force is making efforts to recover those monies and reduce the occurrence on such an alarming scale. And finally, let's tell you that ExxonMobil and its partners, Hess Guyana Exploration Limited and China National Offshore Oil Corporation Petroleum Guyana Limited, have funded an egg sandwich project in the hinterland region aimed at boosting poultry production at that end of the country. On Friday, ExxonMobil announced that the project, valued over $120 million or $608,000, was pulled off through the Greater Guyana Initiative. According to the oil companies, the Egg Sandwich Project is the first regional socio-economic project to be funded by the GGI. It is focused on enabling the hinterland residents to raise their local poultry activity, thereby enhancing consumer access to high-quality local poultry products and economic independence. And with that, we've come to the end of this morning's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
A friend said to me, Glenn, this EU dollar